Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, and I'm back with my plans and pans. I've been away for a couple of weeks, been very, very busy traveling. I went to a Democratic Caucus retreat. I'll tell you about a pilgrimage that I went to on behalf of the late John Lewis. I went to the Progressive Caucus retreat, and of course, back here in the Congress voting on a number of measures. But I'm really happy to report to you on some new happenings. So we in the 9th Congressional District, in my office, moved into a full-time permanent office where all of our staff will be mostly located, although they'll be traveling around the district as well, in Skokie, and the address is 4500 Oakton. It's a building all by itself, and that we now have, and so be sure and check us out. But we did leave our offices in Chicago, that one that we had for 24 years, and in Glenview. So it's kind of bittersweet. But I also want to tell you, knowing how big our district is right now, we want to be sure that we are able to reach more people. So we will be holding neighborhood office hours in Fox River Grove, in Mount Prospect, and in Chicago as well. You can look on our website and get the information on when and where it'll be. We'll have staff out there that will make it easier for constituents to access us for any help that we can provide, but also any issues that you want to raise with me and with the office. We want to make sure that we're accessible to you. So check that out. We definitely want to hear from all of you and are going to make it as easy as possible for you to reach us in person. I wanted to give you a heads up. This is now travel season, spring break, etc. Please check passports. Don't wait till the last minute and then say, oops, my passport is expired or it's running out. We're more than happy to help you get an up-to-date passport, so please call our office. President Biden released his budget proposal. Understand, that isn't the law yet, but this is what our president wants. And what I love about it is that it really emphasizes everyday people, working families, people who need supports, and actually asks the wealthiest to pay more. So let me tell you a little bit about it. It lowers the cost of prescription drugs. It expands Medicaid and creates more affordable housing. It gives 2 years of free community college. It reinstates the child tax credit, means that families will get checks. And dear to my heart, it makes sure we protect Social Security and Medicare. Under the president's budget, billionaires are going to have at least a 25% minimum tax, and it also quadruples the tax on corporate stock buybacks, which is a way that they're getting around having to pay taxes, and repeals the Trump tax scam. We can expect a number of good things that are in this budget. I'm sorry to say that we don't deal sufficiently, I think, with immigration issues. We've been fighting for that for a long time. And actually, it gives more money to the Pentagon, to the military budget. And the Congressional Budget Office says that we could actually cut the cost by $100 billion of military spending and not compromise our national security at all. That's something I would like to see. But in general, this definitely leads and leans toward ordinary families and benefits. So I'm hoping that the president's budget will be the budget that we're able to pass into law. As I've told you over the past couple of years, that I've been really trying to get a data privacy legislation so that you can be confident online that your information isn't being stolen, that our children are not being abused through big tech and the ways that they're getting away with things. And we had a hearing in my subcommittee. Now I'm the ranking Democrat, not the chairman, but my chairman, Gus Bilirakis, and I get along just fine. We had a hearing where we had witnesses from both sides of the aisle all of whom said that the bill that we were able to get passed out of committee, the American Data Privacy and Protection Act, is the way to go. I'm hoping that we're going to get it across the finish line this time. You deserve better treatment when you go online. For several years, I have gone on a civil rights pilgrimage. It was started really by John Lewis, the hero of the civil rights movement, the late John Lewis. I miss him every single day. And sponsored by the group called Faith and Politics. And among other things, we go to Selma, Alabama, and walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. This is the bridge that decades ago John Lewis walked across with hundreds of other people walking from, the goal was to walk from Selma to Montgomery, fighting for voting rights. Instead, at the bottom of the bridge, they were accosted by armed guards who beat them and beat John Lewis almost to death. He thought he was going to die on that bridge. John has been such an inspiration, and of course, at the end of the day, was able to fight to get the passage of the National Voting Rights Act. And so we celebrate his achievements, but we also celebrate his persistence and the need, really more than ever now, for us to organize and fight for justice, to protect our democracy and fairness. And so this trip, which is really fantastic, we also went to a museum that deals with the issue of lynching. And you see a number, they almost look like caskets that are hanging from the wall of people who have been lynched in the United States of America. And do you know when the United States of America finally passed legislation to ban lynching? It was last year, in 2022. And Bobby Rush, who now has retired from Congress, was the sponsor of that legislation. After a couple hundred tries to say that lynching is illegal, it didn't happen until 2022. But it's really inspiring to go with colleagues and a lot of other Americans who just want to learn more about the history of slavery, of the civil rights movement, by going on this pilgrimage. So last year, I was able to bring over $26 million back to various projects in our community, thanks to the Community Project Funding Program, which allows individual members of Congress to apply for help, for support, for 15 different projects within their districts. Well, that program is starting again now. We are still distributing some of the money we were able to bring last year, but now we're taking applications for those for this year. And there's some new guidelines, and we want to encourage not-for-profit organizations and municipalities and other public entities to apply. And you can go to our website to get more information on who would be eligible to ask for funding. The deadline for this is March 17th. So you want to quickly get through it and make an application. And the best way to do that is to go to schakowsky.house/CPF, Community Project Funding. Or you can just call my office and we can better assist you. So the time is now to think about what can be done in your community, for your organization, to get this community project funding. Well, I'm glad to be back with you, and I plan to see you next week. Thanks for watching my Plans and Pans. See you then. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.